Hunkydory just released a floral reveal. This is a shutter concept card kit. Now you can make 16 cards with this, and this is what they look like. Now wait for it. You ready? Look at that. How fun is that? Okay, now you've seen a little bit of it. Why don't you come play with us and see some more? Well, before we get into the projects, besides the one that I just showed you, I just want to tell you that there are you will be able to make 16 cards, as I said. There's 8 sheets. There are 8 designs. You get 2 of each, and there's 8 different flowers. And so we'll just see all the different varieties. I will show you one of every single one. You also get matching envelopes, so that's good. And there are also instructions right here, and I'll be following those. So I'll just set them aside, and we'll get going on that very first card that I just showed you. And we'll get in close so that you can really see it. And there we go. Now, this is made with a sheet that I have already taken apart, but let me just share with you what this looks like. Okay, I'm going to kind of place it as you would be getting it. So it looks like that. So one side is foiled, as you can see, and the other side is not. And that becomes the inside of the card. So this big piece becomes the card base. And they all have names, and in Heidi's directions she did use those names, so that's helpful. So what you're going to do in following the directions that are on the back of the package is you first remove this, and you can see that there's this muted design here that actually becomes the back of your card. And then there are the 2 gates that are going to go and become the front of your card. So let me just scoot this over. You will find a bone folder very handy because, as you can see, when you turn those, you're going to want to really press them down and burnish them to make them try to stay closed as much as you can. Okay, you can certainly put the belly band, which is what Heidi has done here, and I'll show you about that. Now, the other thing you're going to need is 1/2 inch wide extra sticky tape. And I'll show you why. Because there are these 2 pieces. They are not foiled, but look what they have on the back side. In fact, I think you might be able to see through the tape that there are letters. There's A, B, can you see that? And there's C and D. Over those, you want to place the extra sticky tape. So there is a score line right there, and there, and there, and the same on these. Now, what's very nice, the way that Hunkydory has designed these, you've got an A and a B and a C and a D on the inside of your card. So I bet you can figure out what's going to happen. You're going to remove the liner, place A on A. You're going to remove the liners, place B on B. Now, when you go next to that, those fold lines, those score lines, you just want to make sure that you are not going over them. So you're just going to place it like this, just like that. The one on the top and the one on the bottom. And that's going to open the card, so it's just worked nicely. Now, these little platforms that are going to form, they are going to hold some of these pieces. Just like this. In fact, that's what Heidi did on her card. So let me scoot this away and let me show you her card up close. Now this should make a little more sense. I'm going to slip off the belly band. We'll talk about that in just a second. But you saw the front of the card. Now Heidi has embellished hers with some purple jewel dazzles. And you know, these have 540 of these little dots per sheet. And she's used some bigger ones in the center of her flowers, some smaller ones on the edges. You can do whatever you like. But the magic is that when you open this up, those 2 platforms are holding those 2 foiled pieces. And you can see how they're interacting just really nicely. And you can see that she has the jewel dazzles there also. Now, I mentioned that you can get a belly band. Well, how do you do that? Well, you see this edge? Well, that has been designed to be your belly band. So you simply snip along the edge And it is also just a blank color, a solid color on the back side. As a matter of fact, these are also printed on the back side. So if you decide that maybe Just for You or With Sympathy doesn't work for your theme, you can do Heartfelt Wishes and Lovingly Handmade. So whatever you like. And then you've also got two that are not foiled. So lots of options, and that's really nice. So she chose to use the two that were foiled to put on her platforms. But for her belly band, so what you'll want to do is simply to wrap that around your card, your closed card, but you do want to make sure that you've got enough slack so that you can easily put this on and off your card, because you don't want it to be too tight. Now, you'll overlap it, and I would attach it with the extra sticky tape. And then she has chosen the Just for You to go right there. On the back of her card, remember I showed you that that is also printed? She elected to put the heartfelt designs on the back. Also, the jewel dazzles are decorating and embellishing the back side of the card also. So everything is used. Really, really nice. And again, as I said, you have an envelope. Now that process that we just went through is what you can do for all 16 cards. Let me show you another option that Heidi did. And this is using, let me show you the sheet. It is called Pleasant Peonies. And you kind of get an idea by seeing this, but it's really kind of easier to see it all put together. We'll get in close. And this time, she has played with the same construction, the same idea of the belly band, but this time she has used coordinating pink border dazzles as well as her pink jewel dazzles. Isn't it clever that we do them in colors to match? And you can see that she put the border along the center of her belly band as well as around the edge, the inside edge of the frame. The jewels stayed also on the flowers. And then as I open this, okay, we've got that same fun cross-hatching happening. And so she's got the border on the inside and the jewel on the flowers. And on the back of her card, this time she went with white. So pink on the front and inside, but on the back with that very muted color, she used the white border and the white jewel dazzles. So just really lovely. And this time she did two things on her belly band. So one in the front and one in the back. You can, again, you have 4 elements to choose from. And this is to someone special, all my love. So really, really nice. So you can choose how you want to do that. Now, right now you've seen 2 of the sheets. I promised to show you all of them, so we'll back up and show these to you. I do have 2 more projects to share with you, but let me show you these. So this is the Dazzling Dahlias. It's a beautiful purple. And here are some marigolds, marvelous marigolds, I believe. And we have some sunflowers, and we have some lilies. So that's 4 more. You've seen 2, that's 6. I've got 2 more for you. So let me bring in our next one, which is the pansies. Pansies are just happy, pretty flowers. And with the pansies, let me show you the card that she's done. So she elected, so what else can you do with these? Can you keep following the format of the cards that they've done, or can you use them in different ways? Well, I'm here to tell you that she's got 2 more ways that you can use them. And this is on a sidestep card. So you can see how that goes and the inside of it. This is using a cutting die. Now this is a sidestep card cutting die, part of our fabulous folded line. And Heidi, used the Teacups and Roses cardstock. You can see all the colors this comes in, and this is 12 by 12. So she elected to use the yellow, and the yellow has a light yellow on one side and a darker yellow on the other side. So hopefully you can see that difference. I can see it very well in person. And so she has used the elements of this piece very, very nicely. And it's really interesting to kind of pull it apart and think how you could use it. So she has taken this piece and she has trimmed it right here. Those measurements will be in the directions that are down below. Then she matted it on the light blue out of the teacups and roses and glued it to her card base that she made. You can see that this piece you can't see it right there, can you? But when I turn it over, you can see it right here. And she simply matted it. Now, she has the gold, of course, in the foiling, but she wanted to really duplicate that and make it look stronger. So she used our gold cardstock, and you can see that she matted that one. She matted for someone special, which is also on the back side. And this has been foam taped. This, just the bottom of it has been attached. She also used, this is the narrow ribbon. This is the 16th or 8th inch ribbons. You can see just a whole lot of colors in there. She used the ivory to go around the corners and then to make a bow. And she did use Hunkydory's bow maker. She just finds that that's a flawless way to make bows. Now, when you are attaching this one, because it's going to pooch up off of the card, you're just attaching the bottom of it. Okay, the bottom of that to the top of the card. So that's what you're going to do. This piece is a bit of the belly band, but we're not using it as a belly band this time. We're using it as just a border. And then she put some of the dazzles. Now, the dazzles that she's used on this one is the gold border dazzles. So you can see that they're there. She placed them at the top and bottom right here. And that took care of the front of her card. Now here, I forgot to mention that she wrapped that around twice and then made a bow. So all of that's going on. Then on the inside of her card, more of that belly band strip matted on a darker green this time, and with the dazzles on top. And then this piece, well, that's this one. She matted it on green just to make it larger, and foam taped it on top. You can see how it fits nicely right there. And the Get Well Soon, well, the Get Well Soon is right down there. And she matted on the green also. And she elected to go with the purple this time in the 8th inch ribbons. Tied the bows, knotted them in place, and added the purple jewel dazzles that you saw earlier onto the flowers. So that took care of this. Now you will want the 10 envelopes to to put your card in, so that will work well. Okay, so that now is 7 of the 8, and I have one more to share with you, and that is our poppies. And look at this. Now Heidi has done something pretty amazing with this, and it's just really, really clever. So to begin with, her card is out of the gold glitter. Now, the glitter, as you may know, does not shed. It's not going to rub off. It's not going to get on your fingers. It's not going to go anywhere. And boy, if it would shed, you would be seeing it, but it's not doing anything. Now, this is a card, 5x5 card, so you can have it 10 inches long, score it in the middle, and fold it. So that is going to be, and I just wanted to show you the colors that she's using. So she's using that gold glitter. She's also using black suede, and that is going along with her poppies. So it's just a really very bold statement and very striking. So her card is going to have the fold at the top. We'll get in just closer just so that you can really see. And I want to show you what she has done. So in the, remember the center of the card, you have this piece, and Let me just move that. And then you had the 2 gates that were foiled and printed. So what she did for her card center, so work with me on this, is that she took this and she is using our square and scallop cutting dies. Now, some of them have been removed, and I'll show you why, because I wanted to explain this process to you. So you're going to take the muted area and cut it out. So let's get rid of that. Leave the foiling, because that's going to be going on the front of your card. You're going to mat it on the black suede and then glue it to the front of your card. I would probably use the extra sticky tape to attach it. But before you do that, you want to die cut into this, because we want to make an opening. Now, when you take a square anything and turn it on point, you have a diamond, okay? And that diamond is going to cut into this and cut through it. And in doing that, you are making this piece. You see the frame around it? Can you ignore that piece? Let me see. Okay, does that help? So you're seeing that muted area. So we're going to remove that space and set it aside. We're not going to be using it. Then this piece we have. Then you're going to take the 2 pieces that were the gates, and you're going to just tape them together. Any kind of tape. I just use Scotch tape. So just to make one solid piece, because we want to create this frame. And that frame is done with 2 other pieces of our square cutting die. This one, and the measurements are in the instructions, and this one. Now, I've got them with the part that you would cut facing you, only because it will look a little bit more defined to you. So you're just going to place it like that and die cut it. That's going to give you a frame. Then you're still going to have this piece. This piece will go behind the opening that you just cut that out. So that piece goes behind here, the frame goes on top, and then you have this. I think the woman is pretty brilliant. What do you think? So she's taken that strip and created this beautiful, beautiful card top to it. And as I looked at that, I thought, how did she do that? Well, that's how she did it, and it's all in the instructions. So that frame goes on top, the muted part goes next, and that colored part that was done, you know, the 2 pieces that were taped together, that's right here. All quite gorgeous. Now, this is one of the foiled die cuts right there. She did use the black ribbon, which I think is a great choice because it's so bold and so definitive. She also used black jewel dazzles. That should be on my table somewhere, but I've misplaced them, onto her corners of her card. For the inside of her card, look at that. Now, she did use the inside of this piece, but she still had the outside frame. So the woman doesn't mess around. She uses everything. So that outside frame was glued to the inside of her card. She did a square of the suede. She did a square of the glitter. And then this is another piece that was not used because she didn't use either of those, and it's on the back right here. So she placed that. The happy birthday, well, that's another one of the options behind her on her sheet, and she's placed that. This is part of that strip that could become a belly band but didn't. So that gets placed right there and is matted on the back side of it, because the back side of it is the darker red and then you can make this piece on the front of it as she has done. And then she did black ribbon on top, tied a bow, did the black jewel dazzles. How clever is the woman? And this will fit into the envelopes that you have in the package. So you have more ways to make wonderful cards out of what Hunkydory is calling their Floral Reveal Shutter Concept Card Kit. As I said, you can make 16 cards, and I think you can make 16 amazing cards. So this is available now. Heidi, I want to thank you. You've done a marvelous job. We do have a money saver. We have put the extra sticky tape with this in the money saver just to make it easy. It's over on the right side of our screen. All of the instructions for the cards are down below, and I think that that's a wonderful thing to have. We're very happy to have that for you. If you are watching this on YouTube, we hope you'll like us. We hope you'll subscribe, and then head on over to paperwishes.com. Take advantage of the money saver and look at the instructions. You can print them off if you would like and save them, and that's always a handy thing to have. And I want to thank Heidi for just doing a spectacular job. And I want to thank you, most of all, for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again.